in our area from Aja coming all the way down to VI. It was, well, you see, this is why you should prepare in advance, Lagos. We already, our guests still came in. My notes were together. The show still went on. Yeah, the show must go on. See, whatever you're doing, always prepare a day in advance.
You
That's how
know,
it works. Anyway, but yeah, almost almost didn't make it
almost
this
didn't make it.
morning.
Yeah, we thought we were
But
gonna
good to
listen to
be here.
just
Yeah.
music.
All right. So Lagos, good morning to you. Are you giving them phone numbers and all the good
Yes,
stuff?
yes, yes. Please, 0809 444 091. That's where you can send your text messages to, and also or WhatsApp messages rather. You can
Yep.
also send your tweets to at Smooth91FM with the hashtag Business Express 91, and we're tweeting, streaming live rather on
Yes.
YouTube.
Well, yeah, we're tweeting too. We're doing that as well. All right. So look, we mentioned this. Oh, by the way, shout out to our Oga at the top. He
Yes.
was listening to us yesterday. See, we have to be on our toes all the time. And he called. It's always good to work with somebody that has a sense of humor. First thing he calls, he's like, "Rotus, I'm with the DSS. We heard your poem online, and we're coming to pick you pick you up." But he liked it. Thanks for all the feedback, everybody, including our guy at the top. We appreciate all the feedback as well. So look, I mentioned this yesterday, right? Before we got, of course, the poem took everything all the time yesterday, all the responses and everything. But I told you that the federal government is handing over the National Theatre to the central bank and so a number of banks in order to push forward this creative industry that they wanted to get off the ground. Back in May, or was it July, they announced that they were going to be giving billions of naira to a number of people in the creative industry at single digit interest rates. And now what they're saying is they want to take the National Theatre and turn it into some kind of industrial park. Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the central bank governor, he announced this on Monday. Now, the thing is this, he's giving it, or rather the federal government is handing this industrial park over for the creative industry to the central bank and to the banking sector. So a number of banks, they're the ones that they're...
So there's going to be a lot of loans. Is
Well,
that what
so
it
that's the
means?
thing. Thank you, because when you think of banks, you're supposed to be thinking about the financing side of it, but it seems like they're just giving it to them to take charge of it and take the lead and develop this industrial park. It's the private sector, which is good, but then, and the central bank, of course, is playing the role of the regulator. And of course, they've put the naira figure at about 22 billion naira, which is what they're using to push this up. Our governor, Sanwo-Olu, is supposed to be adding another additional 40 acres of land around the National Theatre in order to let this take off. But Kayode, I don't know. It's the banks are supposed to come in when it comes to financing. That's yeah. But to announce that you're handing it over to them plus the CBN, this is for the creative industry.
Okay, I like the fact that you mentioned that.
You said that yesterday. You said it yesterday. You like this idea.
I
but
like the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if the banks do come in, that means that there's going to be some financing and there's going to be improvements in the infrastructure, and also more creatives then can come in and then they'll find ways, to monetize this. And this is what hasn't been done in a very long time.
Yeah. Well, they said there's a couple other. They say they keep a few other industrial parks around the nation. But look, when I think of an industrial park, I'm trying to marry the idea of an industrial park with this creative industry. Yeah, an industrial park is supposed to be a zone that is zoned off from the rest of the other areas, and it's supposed to be like some kind of a hub where it's supposed to be located next to a port, so you can bring in commodities. There's supposed to be factories that think about our brothers and sisters in Aba that are making the shoes and the belts and all those other leather goods. Yeah, they've been saying they need millions of naira to get factories off the ground so they can produce what they're producing. So if you want to build an industrial park around those guys, yeah, you want to make sure that you're the factories that they need, the power that they need, everything is there in that particular zone, everything. So when I'm trying to take that and put it with the creative industry, you're part of the creative industry. You're a photographer, right? And you do all these other things that you do. If you wanted to make movies, if you wanted to do everything that's attached to the creative industry, I'm struggling with the fact that it's banks that are leading this thing. You would get folks
the
in
public
the
sectors would have, but you know how the economy is.
No, you see, you're saying public sector. I'm saying private sector is fine, but why the banks are only supposed to come in for financing? That is it. Announcing that you're handing this entire industry to them, just I don't know. It really, Lagos, help me out if anyone is listening. It's I'm having issues with that. I would think that you would bring in actual creatives who are involved there, because again, look, the same issues are going to come up. If you want to set up an industrial park for creatives, Well, okay, you need to first of all. He mentioned, Gordon Emefiele mentioned that they want to build another 50 cinemas across the country over the next, what was it, 5 or so years or so. Okay, you want to build how many cinemas? But as far as the people who are involved in getting this off the ground, you haven't mentioned who else is going to be a part of this. Yeah, it's still going to be, as far as this announcement is concerned, the banks. Someone is calling our number ending in 8523. You're not supposed to call the number, you're actually supposed to just send a WhatsApp message. So whoever's number is ending in 8523, send a WhatsApp message. So look, there should have been more entertainment folks that are involved in this. I still have issues with the fact that they're mentioning that it's backs. But again, I mean, we'll see how it works out. Also, okay, if we have a message. Oh, it's Folu. What's Folu saying?
He says it's like Warner Village, a creative park. They will have studio props, house, and also she says she understands.
She's struggling with the banks.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Folu, for saying. Folu was on what's she on Fresh Press yesterday, and Grapevine. Yeah, I loved her opinions on the whole MI Vector situation. I enjoyed that. Folu, shout out to you. But see, okay, look at what Folu is saying now. So she said there's a creative park. They'll have studios, prop houses. What are these things going to run on? Is it not power?
This is why the banks are going to finance it.
I said power, Oga, as in electricity.
I know.
They
need money now since we have an electricity situation in Nigeria.
So look, see, this is the point I'm getting at. You're throwing all this money at creative parks. You're throwing all this money at all these other initiatives. You don't need to even put all these people together. You just need the essentials for it to happen. This thing still comes down to power. Because look, you think about how much power are studios going to need? Cameras, sound systems, sound equipment, microphones, big screens. He wants to build 50 extra cinemas across the country. What are these cinemas going to run on? I mean, we're still dancing around the situation. Yeah, it's still a good idea. And by the way, we've been asking people to send messages if you've actually gotten a hand on your loan for this creative thing, whether you've actually gotten the money for it. No one has stepped forward yet. Remember, Gordon Emefiele said you just have to put together a business plan, send it over to them, and you'll get the money if you meet up to what they're looking for. But so far, I haven't heard anything.
I've heard in time past.
Who? Do you know anybody that got money for it?
Right now, I'm saying in time past, I've heard of filmmakers that got loans from places like Bank of Industry, and they did good with that kind of stuff.
Thank you for making that point. Thank you for making that point. If they've gotten the money from Bank of Industry, what's the point of this one that they're now doing?
It's because it was a successful franchise. They
could have just continued. The 22 billion he wants to use for this, you could have just given the 22 billion to the Bank of Industry, and the Bank of Industry just continues to distribute the money to the people that need it, right? Anyway, let's see what messages we have out there. Let's see now. If they have an IPP, that could work. There's the independent power projects, I believe, with separate grids and so on. Okay, Fulu, thanks for that. DME or Kalawa.
Yes.
Historically, creatives have not been known to successfully run business ventures. Having corporate entities involved might actually be a good thing. So I think DME, thank you for that.
DME, the actor, by the way.
He's the actor.
Yeah.
You think that's DME or Kalawa?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Ha.
I mean, that's the same last name.
Same last name. Okay, can you confirm if you are the DME or Kalawa? Because that would be amazing. Okay, but yeah, so he or she is saying that's the reason why the banks are involved. It is.
It is.
Well, I'm bringing actors on my business show. Have you guys ever had any actors on Grapevine? Thank you. Wow, we're honored. Thank you for sending that message in. What else we have? What other messages? We have, let's see now, Benga Kamuzi. Okay, no. Rotus, I support your view. It would have been handed over to the private sector operators in the creative industry with banks coming in to finance the initiative. Good initiative though, but not the best structure. That's from Chooks. All right, Chooks, thank you for that message. Who else do we have here? Sheke, please, I don't understand why. Please, I don't understand why it's CBN governor that intends to build cinemas. Is that his job? Hey, look, I keep scratching my head. He's also doing rice. This is from Ibezim from Ojo. Good morning, Rotus. Like you mentioned yesterday, CBN and other government agencies has been cowed by the presidency. They have they've loosened their independence instead of making Naira to be conducive for private investors to open up our economy and create jobs. Thank you for that. Jobs. That's what we need. Oluzil, morning guys. Creative industries, banks are looking for some form of collateral as usual. That's a good point because they're gonna need that. Andrew from VI, the CBN is fast becoming the ministry of everything. Andrew, that is a very good point. Cruz, you're still on this 30-minute thing. Cruz, come on, sponsor the extra 15 minutes. Gideon, what was Gideon saying? Good morning, team. I enjoy Business Express. Please, I need a place I can be getting
macroeconomic indicators such as the FX rate, inflation rate on a monthly and quarterly basis? Please,
That's
can you
on the
advise?
show.
Yeah, that's on the show, Gideon. But any of the like ARM, Stanbic, Afri Invest, who should have been here today, a number of other brokerage services, you can sign up for their newsletters and you'll get these items. But FX is at 365, inflation is 11.2%, I believe. But we give that out on the show as well. Who is this from? Tony. Hi, Rotus. Yeah, don't you love it? Rotus, Rocha, Sokoracha, Roaches, Lotus, all kinds of. Hi, Rotus. BOI is funded by CBN. All the CBN international funds are disbursed through the BOI. Plus, on this issue, CBN will simply set up an advisory committee for artistic content and initiatives. Thank you for that input, Tony. But still, I still take it anyway. I get your point. Just as
comes in.
This is Bolahon. Just as Folu mentioned, it would be like with the Warner Brothers Studios. The only issue I have is that we would have expected that whomever the stadium will be handed over to should have first submitted a proposal on how they would turn it around and the impact on the greater society, not just hand it over like it's their entitlement. Thank you for that, Bolahon. What else we got?
One more message.
One more message. Hi, Rotus. The involvement of the banks in the National Theatre is similar to what GTB is doing at the You Read Library. Okay, thanks, Biodun. Well, again, Biodun, I still think creative should be handling this, but we'll see how it goes. Again, we're happy for the initiative.
I mean,
yeah,
it might be a creative that'll be at the head of it. So
yeah.
hey.
Okay, real quick, I'll get into this tomorrow. The CBN sent out a circular. We've run out of time, Abi.
Yes, we have.
Okay, we run out of time. Thank you for the message. I see still more messages, but very quickly, we'll get into this tomorrow. The central bank sent out a circular saying that the LDR, the loan deposit ratio, they're increasing it to 65%. Remember, back in July, they said it was 60% because they wanted the banks to be lending out to more industries. And they gave them till the end of September, ladies and gentlemen. September has now ended. This is 2nd of October. They've released a new circular now saying that they should increase it to 65%. And the new deadline now is the end of December for this year. How do you... Anyway, run out of time. We're going to get into this LDR issue tomorrow. So thank you all. Shout out to Folu. Shout out to our Nollywood actor. That sent in a message. I'm bringing everybody on this show. Cruz, everybody, thank you for your messages. We really appreciate it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Kayode, you rock.
Yes.
Me and you should be doing this all the time. Oh, okay. Olakumi is here to give out airtime. Am I allowed to do this airtime? She's laughing. No, I'm not allowed.
Not your show.
I'm not qualified.
Lagos
okay, it's over.
traveling show comes up in a few minutes. Stay close.
I'm so glad I made it.